Welcome to Talking About Blessings, and a space where faith, family, and purpose come together to uplift and inspire. I am Cristina Soto, and this podcast will explore how God's presence shapes our daily life, guiding us into personal growth, relationship, and the pursuit of a life filled with love and gratitude. Here, you will find a heartfelt reflection, meaningful conversations, and practical wisdom to strengthen your faith and help you recognize the blessing that surrounds you every day. Because when you open your heart to God's presence, everything becomes clear. Get ready for an inspiring, faith-filled journey. Let's begin. Hello, everybody. Super excited. Today, I have the honor to interview my first person. We're going to talk about blessing here. And today, I have this honor to interview Maria Camila Medina, who won the REYNA Latina pageant. So I'm super happy because this is a woman who came to USA when she was only 12 years old. Imagine come to a different country to face a new culture and a new language as 12 years old. That is so hard. So I want to talk to Camila because I wanted Camila to send a message to all the immigrant people or to all the girls who are today facing hard situations, because she's going to share all the challenge that she faces when she moved to the United States and how blessed she feels today after all this journey that she had been going through. So let's gonna welcome today to Maria Camila Medina.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Christina. I'm so happy to be here and so honored to be your first one in your podcast.
Thank you so much. First I want to say also thank you to you because for accepting my invitation of being on my podcast, and so especially for being the first one. And I know you're so busy with all these things because you just won the REYNA Latina. I'm so proud of you. You're such an amazing girl. And that's why I want you to talk about all this challenge that you faced when you came to the country, and give this message to other girls in the USA that have been, coming from other countries and facing all these challenges, maybe a different challenge than you, but still, maybe your words can be very inspiring for them. So welcome, Camila, and thank you for making time to be here. So I want to ask you, tell me, who is Camila?
Well, I am from Cali, Colombia. I came to the United States, as you said, when I was 12 years old. I'm currently my own boss. I opened up my marketing firm back in 2023. I'm married, so I'm a wife. I'm a sister of 3, and I am a doggy mom. So that's so far. I specialize in marketing, so you can say I'm a marketing specialist.
Oh, I love that because this is the hot things now in the world with all these changes. Is marketing, the digital marketing, everything is like a big hit now.
Yes,
Great,
yes,
great.
absolutely. Technology is advancing in a way that it's scary. And for the people that have digital marketing firms, we have to be continually on update, educating ourselves because AI is a big thing now. And it's scary because if we don't know how to use it, we could be potentially out of business.
Yeah, but I know you have been going through so many things, and coming from Colombia, such a young age, like being 12 years old when you were being a teenager and leave all your friends in Colombia, coming here, you don't speak the language. And I know you have now a very successful business and you're a very successful woman now, but not always was like that. I know it was a hard time because it's a culture shock, and especially when you don't speak the language. And it's not like coming like 5 years old or 4 years old, but we're talking about 12 years old. So how was that challenge for you? How you face it? How you were Camila feeling in that moment that you came to this country, maybe full of joy, and you didn't know how a challenge would be at school? How was Camila when she was 12, living in the USA or arriving to the USA and not speaking the language? How you were feeling? Can you share that, please?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. So the first time I came to United States was 2007. I went to Disney World. My biological father took all of my siblings and myself to Disney World, and it's Orlando. A lot of people speak Spanish, and but there's a little bit of a population that they do speak English, right? And I was like so fantasized, like, wow, it's so different. It's like, I love it here. And I used to tell my dad, I'm like, Dad, I want to stay, I want to go to school here. For my surprise, my mother the following year married my stepfather. He's also Colombian, but he has been living in the United States for all his life, I can say, in the state of Connecticut. So my mom tell us, like, we're gonna move, we're gonna immigrate to United States. I'm like, oh my God, I wanted it to happen, but I didn't know that God had a plan for us. And it became true, from a dream of like, Dad, can I stay here to go to school here, to like my mother literally like getting married and making the move, the change here. When I got here, I remember having very basic English. I didn't care much the language back home, because I'm like, although my parents always were like on top of us, like, you need to learn English. I'm like, for what? We are in Colombia, like we speak Spanish. Like, why do I need English for, a teenager? And it was shocking because a year later, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know anything. All I knew was my name is, my favorite color is, where is the bathroom?
3 sentences. Oh
And
my
that
God.
was horrible, because when I came to the US and going to the school system, I went straight to 8th grade. My brother, my mother, like, she's like, yeah, he can go to 6th grade or like 7th grade. Like, she like pushed him to like jump into two grades more than what he really was supposed to be.
No English.
She wanted it. She wanted it, like, us to be in the same classroom, and the principal was like, that's impossible. Like, he's only 9 years old. He shouldn't be in 7th grade. But I don't know, like, somehow my mom made it happen, and he was like 1 or 2 grades below me. But for me, it was a lot harder, because it's a big difference, 12 years old compared to 9 years old. 12 years old, you're in that age, like teenager life, where you think you know it all, where you're like being really rebelled, like you're not really to follow rules, or at least I was one. So it was very difficult, because I'm like, people speak Spanish, why do I have to speak English? Why do I have to learn the and I had friends in 8th grade that they were from Colombia, they were from Mexico, and they were talking to me in English, and I'm like, don't you speak Spanish? So they will not talk to me in Spanish at all, and I started getting bullied.
Oh no.
In school, I started getting bullied because I was refusing to speak their language. I mean, when I say their language, it's because we're in United States and the kids are used to speak English in school. You know, they don't speak Spanish. I mean, unless they have a friend or cousin, whatever. But I started getting bullied. I remember going home crying every
Oh,
day. I remember people telling me, go back to your country because you don't understand our culture. You don't want to accept our culture. Why do we have to accept you? You know, like, why do we have to speak your language or stuff like that? It was really mean. Kids in school are mean, but it was it was that challenge. It was me being little, missing home, missing everything, you know, and having to force myself to now learn a language and understand a total different culture. So that was a big challenge.
yeah, of course. And then so many kids go through the same situation. And it's so hard. I know, I remember when I came, I did not go to school because I was an adult. But it's so embarrassed. Like I made, for example, a lot of mistakes, and sometimes because I want to say you too, I say me too, you know, things like that. Somebody say good night, and I want to say you too, and I say me too. I always get confused. Still, like it's not perfect because I didn't go to school and learn English as an adult is even harder, but it's
Yeah.
not impossible. I always feel like we need to tell other people outside that everything is possible, and even we make mistakes, we have to be, aware that it's okay to make mistakes, and that's okay to, don't say, do not pronounce a word the right way. It's okay. People under, I'm sure people understand because in my case, I mean, I did learn as an adult, it's not the same. But anyway, I want you to tell me now, if you look back, all this challenge that you face with the culture, with the, learning the language, do you see any blessing behind that? Because I think it's important that people realize that behind a pain, behind a challenge, is always a gift. It's always a blessing from God. And I think if we see that, we can have the hope that things are going to change. So, what is the blessing that you see today, looking back at that time that maybe for you was the hardest time? It was like a dark time for your life, but how you see that the sun raises for you, that new day begin for you, even you went through that.
Having the blessing of being in the United States, where it's a country where we all know has a lot of opportunities, I'm a big believer that you can create your own future anywhere you go, as long as you wanna, as long as you're willing to build something for you and your family. However, it's not a doubt that the United States is a very powerful country. I had to really come to an understanding of what was happening, right? I had to make peace with the fact that we moved our families back home, and now we get to call United States at home. A big blessing is that I was able to learn the culture, respect the culture, honor the culture, and having this interview in English 17 years ago, I wouldn't think that it was going to be possible. Being able to speak to you, although you speak Spanish as well, and being able to communicate in both languages, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to communicate in two different worlds, because Spanish is not easy either. And the more we learn, the better for us to be able to communicate with others. The world was made with so many beautiful cultures, so many different countries, you know, so many languages that I wish I could speak them all now, you know. and be able to communicate with people and make them feel like home, because it makes me feel home when somebody speaks to me in Spanish. So if I have the power to be able to speak to an American person or somebody that does not speak, Spanish and English, I make them feel welcome. I'm respecting them. That's how I see it. So yes, talking about blessings, that was a big blessing to be able to have the power to understand it, speak it, read it. I think we're all blessed if we can speak a different language, not just English, but in general. If we have two languages, I think that's amazing.
It is. And I understand that you came with your brother, as you said before, mentioned before, and your mom. How was you know, the blessing that you find, emigrate at the same time with your mom and your brother when everybody went to the same pain, missing home, missing family? How was the affect or make it even better or affect in a negative way that the three of you came at the same time, or do you think it was good idea and it was good for the family? What is the good thing that you see on the you, I mean, your mom wants to support you, but she was in the same page. She was just to come to the country. How she handled that, or how you feel that she did?
Now, looking back, I'm like, wow, mom, you're a rock star. We went through hard times, because it's like leaving everything behind and starting from zero. I remember us coming with just two suitcases each. We only had a couple pair of shoes, couple pair of clothes, and we had to start everything from zero. My father, my mother's husband, but I call him father because to me he's my dad. He pretty much finished raising us. He never married, so he never had a family before, and it was new to him. So it was like, oh my God, like he never was a father to anybody. He didn't have kids on his own. He was pretty much like adopting us, taking my mother with suitcases and two little kids. To me, it is a big blessing to be able to make such a big move in your life. Immigrate to another country. It's like your whole life changes. Your whole life changes. The perspective of life changes. And having the opportunity to have made that move with my mom and my brother, that meant the world to me. And looking back, I can only imagine what my mother was feeling. She was only 34 years old
Oh my
when
God,
she
so
came,
young.
but she came with two little kids. And kudos to my dad, because he never had kids in a house, and he did an amazing job. I owe everything that I have right now. I owe it to this man.
Mm.
And I'm blessed that my mother made that move with the right man, you know, because there's so many kids that they're left behind. Their mothers leave to find better opportunities. They immigrate alone. They leave the kids with family. And I think that's a huge disconnection. You get disconnected from your mother. I know of cases where the kids start to hate their mother or their parents or their father because they feel left out. They feel they were left behind. When in reality, parents are just trying to look out for everyone's future. They're being brave, but my mother was more than brave. My mother, she's like, I'm not leaving my kids. It's either you take me with my kids, you do whatever you need to do, Alexander, that's my dad's name, or I'm not going. And so he was like, bring it on.
All of a sudden, he has a huge family. Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing. What a blessing. You were so
yeah,
lucky because,
yes,
come here with paper, with, have a dad, a place to live, and, home, and your mom next to you who can, support you through, all these challenges that you were facing at school. That's amazing.
yeah.
That's
It
wonderful.
was tough because she was like, I don't understand. What do you mean? Like, what's happening at school? Because these things are different back home, you know. I come from private schools in Colombia. I was a little spoiled girl because my biological dad, he paid for everything. He made us, we were never missing anything. We had a really good life back home. Not that we didn't had it here, but here was very challenging because not only you're new to the country, the culture, the language, but you also living with a new
Your
father
dad.
figure. So it's like, oh my God, everything was so new to us. Um, but here we are.
That's amazing. I love your story. So I know you just won a couple weeks ago, last month. You won the Reina de Colombia, Reina Latina in Connecticut. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy that you represented our community. So how you feel today? After all, you have your business and you won this beautiful competition in Connecticut, and you represented our community, and you're representing all the women here. So, how you feel, and what would you tell others, other girls who are Latin, who are immigrants like you?
I feel very grateful for being chosen because there were another 9 beautiful, talented women, which they gave it all. They gave their 100%. Um, when I started up this competition, I did a huge campaign. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it very well. I wanna leave a mark in people's heart, whether I win or not.
Oh,
So I started, with my team, Samuel and Ricardo. They're my really good friends. They're like brothers to me. They're family. They mean the world. They are professional videographer and photographer. They have a company called 14 Photo Studio, and they supported me. They were the very first ones that said, yes, you're going to do this. Okay, we're on it. We're going to do a huge campaign. We're going to take pictures. We're going to talk about mental health. One of the biggest things that I wanted to come across with the pictures was empowerment and how important it is to take care of our mental health. If we look back at all the pictures that we were posting, or descriptions were directed to people that were probably, or women that were probably not feeling with the highest self-esteem, or that they not felt enough. And my purpose was to, with these pictures and the campaign we did for Reina Latina, was to say, hey, I am an immigrant. I feel certain things that you probably have gone through. We have similarities of that, but it's possible. I'm 30 years old and competing. Who would have thought, these competitions are always meant for the youngers, the younger women, 19 to 27 years old. But that didn't stop me, right? That didn't stop me. And that's what I wanted it to promote is I am here. Look at me. I don't have the perfect body because I am not a model, even though I did it back home when I was little. But it's not the same. It's been 17 years. And I wanted to make a point of we're here, we have opportunities, take that train and ride it, okay? Take that train and go. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a model face, or my face expressions are big. You see, it's not like I'm perfect, and I might speak English, but it's not a perfect English. Or I might want to be involved in the community, 100%, but I might not know everybody to help me and support me with projects for the community. But here I am. I'm giving it all, and I think it's a big responsibility because people look at you like she had it easy. She has green eyes, or she's tall. It's not the physical. And to me, has never been the physical. It's really what you have in here and what you have in your heart. And I think that when your heart is pure and your mind is clear, you project that. And
Wow.
winning Reina Latina to me was my mind clear and my heart pure that made it to that point. And now I have a huge responsibility, which is to continue carry my beliefs of empowerment, my beliefs of respect for culture, my beliefs of helping each other, making a union, because our community, I feel like they're very separate, like they don't want to work together. So that's my main goal, to finish this year with Reina Latina, leaving a mark in the community and spreading love. Spreading
Oh,
love.
I love that your mission is to bring the community together and work together. I think that's beautiful because it's like, if you have a fire, the more logs you add, you make a big fire. I think if we
Yes.
bring our community together, we are so powerful. There is expression that say that alone you can go, somewhere, but if you together, you can go so far away. So that's beautiful. I love your mission. And so today, if you could give like advice to the girls, the Latin girls, what would you tell them from your heart? What would you say to this maybe kids from immigrant, or maybe a girl who just came to the country, because it can be both. Maybe somebody who the parents, they were born here because the parents are immigrant, or maybe for the girls who just arrived to the country. What would you tell them? How to be brave, how to go through the hard time, what to do?
um I think you need to have a strong connection with God, whoever God is to you, whatever God you believe in. I have my God, you know, um, to have a really strong connection, spiritual connection, because when you're connected spiritually, everything flows because you have a humble heart and you have a clear mind. I will say um, to this lady that is listening to me, to this little girl that is listening to me, to this woman, or whoever is listening to me right now that are just immigrating to the country, or that they just made the move or is recent. Don't give up and don't be afraid. Most importantly, carry on your culture with you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I feel so honored to be Colombian and be able to speak Spanish. I seen a lot of people that they are shy. They're embarrassed, not shy. They're embarrassed because they don't. They come from another country and they want to be, Americanized. And I think it's beautiful that we get to carry on our own culture and learn another one. So my biggest advice is have a spiritual connection with God. Be humble. Coming to the United States, it switches your brain because you can obtain money quick. There's a lot of work opportunity. If you're a go-getter, you're gonna get it. And that changed perspective of life because it's not as easy back home. It's not as easy to get a job. Here, I might be without a job today, but in less than a week, I'm gonna find something. Whether it's in a restaurant, in a car wash, whatever it is. because I was in that position before where I had to jump from one job to another because, they cut hours or whatever it is. So stay humble. Definitely stay humble. Don't forget where you're coming from. Don't forget your family back home, because it's hard for us to move away, but it's harder for the ones that stay, because you live in empty space and only God knows when you're coming back. So honor that. Honor the fact that you have a family. They're always going to be waiting for you, and work hard enough so that they're not waiting for you, but you can bring them here and have that same opportunity that God is giving you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Camila. I really appreciate your time, your words, and all this advice that you're giving to other women who are immigrants like us in the USA. I really appreciate it. I would like if you listen to this podcast, share this message with other people, because I think it's important that we realize that there's so many blessings. Sometimes we just focus on the pain and the hard time that we went through, or the hard thing that we're going through now, but we forgot to look the gift. What is the blessing that is behind that pain or that hard situation? So if you listen to this and you're going through a hard time in any area of your life, think, what is the blessing that you're receiving? This maybe it would be a blessing of forgiveness, or a blessing to accepting the culture, like in your case, or the blessing to learn a new language. So if we focus on the blessing, I think we always can find blessing surrounding us, because the grace of God is with us, and it's going to help us to open different doors and to move our life to another level. So, Camila, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you. The first one, yeah. I was so
Thank you.
nervous about to start my podcast. I know it's not perfect, but I really want to interview a lot of people who can talk about their challenges and the blessing in their life. So I think having you as a Reina Latina is one of the blessing too, because it is a blessing to have a happy woman who has such a respect, who has such an attitude, who is a business, who is a good role model for a young generation. So I think that's a big blessing for our
Thank
community. And also, I feel blessed to meet you. And I met you last year in October, and I was, oh my God, since I saw you, I remember the first time I saw you, and I feel like, oh my God, I want to be her friend. So I'm super excited to be your friend. And
you let me sleep in your house.
I really
You open your home doors to me, and that was beautiful. Thank you. I'm never gonna forget that. Never, never ever.
I open my house for you, but I also open my heart, because I think your soul and my soul really get connect very well. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you can come another time and talk about your business, because I know you're so successful in your marketing business, and there's so many people who need your help. And we're gonna make
Absolutely.
another one that we're gonna talk only about business, and maybe we can do a month just to talking about business, and then you can be the first one to talk about business too. So thank
Absolutely.
you.
Bring me on. Thank you. Thank you
Sure,
so
thank you, and please, guys, share the link. If you listen to this podcast, please share this link with other people. We want to, other people to listen. Our beautiful Camila. Thank you, Camila, for being nuestra Reina Latina, and thank you for coming to this country. God bless you, and I see you next time. Thank
Bye.
you. See you soon. Bye bye.